Hi, I'm Matt, co-founder of Taskable. We're building the productivity assistant that keeps you in flow. Let me show you how it works. Meet Priyanka, co-founder of Whirlix and a real Taskable power user. As a founder, Priyanka has to keep tabs on multiple tools. Her marketing team lives in Asana, her engineering tasks are in Clubhouse, and documentation lives in Notion or Google Drive. Plus, action items are shared in Slack, email, even her LinkedIn DMs. And the list goes on. She's constantly losing focus. We're building Taskable to give knowledge workers like Priyanka back the 2 hours per day they lose due to context switching. Here's how our go-to-market product works. First, Taskable enables Priyanka to aggregate everything into a single view using our integrations. So here she is setting up the Asana integration with a few clicks, and Taskable imports everything assigned to her. She captures those important action items popping up amongst the cat gifts with the Slack integration. The calendar integration shows her data at a glance. And finally, the browser extension acts as a catch-all, so Priyanka can save critical thoughts and web pages from anywhere on the web. Next, we help Priyanka actually manage all this new information. She triages through her new tasks and schedules them into her workflow. And then Taskable helps Priyanka plan each day by suggesting the highest leverage items she should be working on. Priyanka says, I love using Taskable. It's a great solution for a busy early-stage founder working across multiple projects and tools. But this current version is just the starting point. Our bigger vision for Taskable is a smart assistant for your digital life, helping you navigate the tools you use on a daily basis. We'll automate the inflow of relevant information from places like Slack and email into Taskable, bundle relevant information together, and provide you with the context you need when you need it. No more searching across multiple tools for information. Taskable will also enable you to write to your other tools, such as sending a quick email, and even build workflow automations. You can start with Taskable from wherever you are. For example, finding leads in LinkedIn and adding them to your CRM. So those tedious tasks can be completed with just a couple clicks. There are players in the space, but no one has cracked this yet. We believe the reason is most existing tools optimize for collaboration. We're focusing on the single user experience and helping you get deep, focused work done. We launched out a closed beta at the beginning of the year and averaged over 25% week-on-week new user signups. And we also launched paid plans that have our first 13 paid users. Our most engaged users are founders, freelancers, makers, and project managers. They start and end their day with Taskable and keep it open throughout the day to stay on top of their priorities. We're focused on this ideal customer profile as we go to market. They struggle having to work across multiple contexts. We're beginning to turn to adjacent personas, such as agency employees, investors, and later enterprise employees as we find product market fit. The bottom-up proposition drives us to 10 million ARR with 30,000 paying users in 2024. And we'll turn our focus to B2B in 2023 to get to 100 million ARR by 2026. Tom and I are both second-time founders, and we worked together for 2 years before starting Taskable. Along with launch, we were also selected as pioneers last year. Thank you. I'm Matt, co-founder of Taskable, and we're building the productivity assistant that keeps you in flow.
All right. Well done, Matt. Okay, investors, introduce yourselves, name, firm, average check size, and if you have a thesis, please. Next up is Lorenzo. Hi, Lorenzo.
Hey there, I'm Lorenzo Tione. I'm a partner at Angels, which is a large venture investment syndicate focused on diversity and leadership in venture. We're multi-stage, multi-sector, very generalist. We invest from very early all the way to very late stage with checks that go from 50,000 to multiple $1 million. So very broad. My question is, so would love to know more about what you're seeing from the paid test and where you actually going to sort of figure your CAC is gonna get to, and ultimately what's your sense of all these tools? As Jason actually mentioned, every few years one pops up and they never seem to kind of get to the very large scale. What's your sense of why that is, and how is yours going to be different?
Thanks so much, Lorenzo. Robert.
Everyone, great to meet you all. I'm Robert. I'm at Maven Ventures. We're a early stage consumer software focused venture firm. Our typical check size is about $1 million in seed rounds and sometimes pre-seed rounds. And my question for the founder is similar to Lorenzo's, but just more about distribution and how you expect to get this in the hands of millions and millions of people.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott Shane with Comeback Capital. We invest in seed and pre-seed stage rounds, less than $1 million, in companies that are not in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, New York, or Boston, anywhere else. We write $200,000 checks. Our LPs our active investors intend to sidecar for about $5 for every dollar we put in, focusing mostly on software and software-enabled devices. I'll just say that this is the season for launch companies. I think last July we did 3 launch companies. So that's what we do in July when other people go on vacation. My question is, what is special about the early adopters that make them more interested in your product than the other customers out there?
All right. Thank you, Scott. Sumit.
Hey everybody, Sumit Shah. I run operations and infrastructure for an early and growth stage venture capital firm known as SwiftArc Ventures. We're consumer and healthcare focused, operating out of our early and growth stage funds in the world of products and technology. Our check size from 50 to 250K up in the early stage, which is seed and Series A with a little bit of pre-seed. We also then have in the multiple millions on our growth side. We're also working on new initiatives, one in the future of beauty, one in the future of telehealth, and one in the future of sustainable foods through an upcoming SPAC. Prior to this, I helped start SwiftArc in the early 2019, and prior to that, in early 2014, was the first employee at another early stage consumer firm known as Brand Foundry. We're invested in companies like Lola, The Wing, Rockets of Awesome, The Sill, Orbi, Birchbox, Harry's Peloton, et cetera, all early investments. My question, I guess, is really about the mix between B2B and B2C and pricing models. I know that's still early as you're still working through a couple of paid betas. I just would love to understand the pricing strategy and in correlation with some of the previous questions in terms of how you're also getting distribution and customer acquisition.
All right, great. And from Syndicate, Christopher is asking, does it integrate with CRM systems? 2 minutes, 3 to go.
Awesome. Thanks for the question. So from the paid test, what we're learning, so right now it was a 14-day trial, then we upped it to a 30-day trial. We're going to turn on a freemium plan, and then you have to upgrade to use some of the premium integrations, because what we're learning is it takes longer than 14 or even 30 days to actually build the habit and start to use the product. So we want to give away the sort of core product for free, and then really sort of tie the value proposition to those integrations. So that's what we're learning. We're still playing around with pricing point. We do want it to be sort of a premium product like a Superhuman, so $30 a month. But obviously in the early days, we don't have quite the same bells and whistles, and the product's not as slick quite yet. But that's our goal. What's different is that we're really focusing on these deeper integrations. We're also focusing on simplicity. So a lot of these tools are very prescriptive. It's another tool that's on top of all the things you're already using. You have to spend a lot of time maintaining. You have to spend a lot of time going to these other tools, copying and pasting things in. So we want to focus on simplicity and having these deep integrations so that it is another tool, but it's helping you save time because you're not actually having to go into these other tools and search around and get lost while you're there. To Robert's question about distribution, so we've started off with a lot with content, some cold emails to target audiences. But we're also trying to build in some product-led growth ideas. So for example, we have these checklist templates. We have a checklist for launching on Product Hunt and various other things, a startup growth checklist. Users can import those into their accounts. And we've had friends of ours build them from their companies. And so it's a nice little partnership we can build with other people. So things like that, things that show off the product, people then can create their own checklists, share them, and help people sort of manage products or projects. So that's something we're focusing on. But yeah, a lot of content, a lot of SEO. We've also experimented with Google Ads, and so we can see we can scale up there as well. Scott, what's special about the early adopters? A lot of them are founders or people working on multiple projects. They're super busy. They have a lot to manage. And so this is a simple tool for them to use. The B2B model remains to be seen. But yeah, I think I mentioned just the freemium models that we're going to focus on next. And yes, we do plan to integrate with CRM. Sorry about that.
Sorry. No worries, Matt. Good job. It's really hard.